My name's Mark, and you're listening to Headstraight. Hello, you lot, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what you can do to stay calm when everyone around you seems to be losing it, because oftentimes the stress isn't actually yours. And there are going to be days when you're actually doing all right. You're not buzzing and you're not spiraling. You're just kind of okay. And then you walk straight into other people's stress. You get to college and the energy's already off. You open a group chat and one message shifts the whole tone. You walk into the kitchen and you can just feel the tension before anyone speaks. Or maybe you're at work and you start a shift and someone's already having a bad day and you can see it's coming your way. Now, you didn't start it. You didn't wake up like this, but suddenly your chest feels tight. Your thoughts speed up and you feel pulled into something you didn't choose. This episode isn't about calming yourself down because you're out of control. It's about staying steady when everyone else isn't. Because learning how to handle your own stuff is one thing, but learning how to stay yourself when people around you are stressed, reactive, or on edge, well, that's a completely different skill. And no one really teaches you that part. Now, stress doesn't arrive politely. It doesn't ask for permission. It just shows up. You're minding your own business, and then someone slams a door, fires off a message, cuts you off mid-sentence, or walks in already annoyed. And before you've even worked out what's going on, your body reacts. Your jaw tightens, your shoulders creep up. You feel like you need to say something, quickly, carefully, or just to make it stop. That happens because humans automatically tune into what's around them. When people nearby are tense, your body picks it up before your brain has time to decide if it matters or not. That's why stress feels catching. And if you're someone who notices mood changes fast or doesn't like conflict, or you're the person that usually tries to smooth things over, or maybe you grew up being the peacekeeper, you're going to feel this even more. You don't just notice the stress, you start carrying it. So, I'm going to tell you about the exact moments that people get pulled in. And to do this, we're going to zoom out on the moments where people usually lose their footing, because this is where staying steady actually matters. So let me give you some examples of these moments, and you might recognize them for yourself. It's that moment just before you reply to a message you know is going to make things worse, or when somebody raises their voice and your instinct is to match the tone. Or when silence feels uncomfortable and you just need to rush in to fill the space. Or maybe it's when you explain yourself even though you don't owe anybody an explanation. Or maybe it's when you apologise just to bring the temperature of the room down. Now, none of these are big decisions. They happen in seconds, and most people don't even realise that they've been pulled into the chaos until they're already in it. Staying calm isn't about being slow all the time. It's about noticing those moments and choosing not to step forward automatically. So, here's why keeping things smooth costs you later. Now, a lot of the time, people don't react because they want to escalate. They react because they want things to feel easier. They want the tension gone, or the mood lifted, or they want things to settle. So, they soften themselves. They take the blame. They take on the stress, or try to manage the room. But here's the catch. If you calm things down by taking on the pressure doesn't disappear. It just moves into you. That's why you might feel fine in the moment and then exhausted later, or annoyed for no obvious reason, or strangely short with people that you care about. You didn't stay calm. You postponed the impact. Real calm happens when you don't rush to absorb what isn't yours. Now, this is what staying calm looks like in real situations. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing less in big moments. Now, it often looks like just slowing down and pausing before you reply, or maybe answering slower than the energy that's coming at you. or letting someone vent without fixing it, or leaving the conversation before it spills over, or maybe even just saying one sentence instead of 5. Sometimes staying calm means not replying at all, not because you're avoiding, but because you're not in a place to respond well. Now, that's not weak. That's awareness. And yeah, it can feel awkward at first, especially if people are used to you jumping in. But awkward is temporary. Carrying everyone else's stress, that isn't. So, I'm going to give you 3 small tools that'll work in the moment. The first one is slow the exit. You don't need to leave dramatically. For example, use simple things like going to the bathroom, or maybe just stepping outside, or focusing on something physical for a minute. You're giving yourself space to settle, not proving a point. The second tool is one quiet sentence. Say this in your head. This is not mine to deal with. Now, you don't need to believe it perfectly. You just need the reminder. And the third one is use short lines that close things down, because you don't have to explain yourself. You can say things like, do you know what? Not right now. Or maybe, let's leave this for later. Or you could try, do you know what? I'm not joining this. Or if you need the space, you may just need to say, look, I just need a minute. They're short, they're calm, no extra detail. Now, the goal isn't to manage the situation. It's to keep your footing inside it. Now, let me just bring it to a close. Calm is staying yourself. Staying calm when others are losing it doesn't mean distant or cold or switched off. It means staying connected to yourself when the space around you gets really loud. You don't owe the room your energy. You don't have to carry the stress just to keep things smooth, and you don't need to disappear to stay steady. Once you stop soaking everything up, people notice. Maybe not always kindly, maybe not always clearly, and that's where the next challenge starts. In the next episode, we'll talk about what happens when people don't like the changes that you're making, when being calmer, clearer, or less involved starts to make others uncomfortable. Now, if you've ever felt that pull to shrink back into your old role just to keep things easy, that's exactly where we're heading next. So, are you ready for it? Of course you are.